What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Nintendo Friends, where we talk about everything gaming, but mostly Nintendo. I don't know why I'm talking like this. It's probably because I'm in Glitchy's new video. But anyway, I am your host, Hector, and with me, as always, is my co-host and fellow gamer, Abel. How you doing today, Abel?
What's up, guys? I'm super excited because we also have a third guest today.
Mm-hmm.
Announce who that is.
Yes, we have Glitchy Games.
Glitchy
Of
Games.
Glitchy
Delicious.
Games, Pops, as we call him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be joining in the conversation. How you doing, man?
Hello, my sons. How are you? Jeez. I got some heated things to say for tonight. I'm so glad for the invite.
Yeah.
This will be a teaser for my Switch 2 thoughts and reactions or whatever.
Yes. And
I got a lot
also
to say. I got a lot to
also
say.
well, hold on. We're gonna get there. We're gonna let
Do
you
it
vent.
already.
This is a safe space. We're gonna let him vent about stuff. But as we mentioned before, go check out his new video. It's hilarious. It's a great concept. Great video. Stop killing games. And as I mentioned before, I'm in there as the Don. I make a guest appearance. But it's amazing. The video was really funny. It was really great. So go check that out. But today we are talking about, and I wish I had. Do you have the? Did you buy it digitally the game?
No, no, no.
Okay,
Physical.
show the camera, please, because I bought it digitally. So today we're talking about Donkey Kong Bananza. It is the newest Switch 2 game, probably the second. It's the second Nintendo first party game of the Switch 2, and we're gonna talk about that today. We're gonna so Glitchy and I have played it. Abel is gonna be asking us some questions because he hasn't played it yet. But yeah, if Abel, you want to take it away? We're gonna have a debate and stuff like that. So go ahead.
All right. So, yeah, I have not played the game, unfortunately, but I just I'll give my 2 cents and then we'll get on with the debate. But I am really excited for the game. I was really excited for the game. I'm excited to play it when I get over next time I hang out with Hector. But yeah, I think it's just looks like a great game. And anyways, let's just get straight into the debate. All right. So the first question I have for you guys, both of you guys, because I'm curious to know, uh, before even purchasing the game, before playing the game, putting it in for the first time or whatever, what were your initial like expectations for the game? What were you looking to get out of this game as being the first main series Donkey Kong game that we've gotten for a home console in quite some time? What were your expectations going into it?
Hector, do you want to go first?
I'll let the guest go first.
Yeah, guest goes
Oh,
first.
Yeah, we're
among
classy
such a
over
gentleman.
here, y'all.
Oh my God, so classy. You have manners. My boys have manners. I'm so happy. All right. So immediately I knew it was the Odyssey team, right? Like I could tell from the trailer it was the Odyssey team, the way it was set up. Before it was even confirmed, I was like, nah, it's the Odyssey team because we're not getting a Mario thing related probably until the 40th anniversary. That being said, my expectations were this is going to be a great game. It also should have been a Switch 2 launch title. So I was like, all right, they clearly didn't set it up in a time where, okay, the Switch 2 launches with DK and Mario Kart. Hector, as you said, it is the second Nintendo published game. And I honestly expected it to be good, and it is an ADHD person's worst nightmare. It's terrible in that regard. I can't stop punching rocks.
You've formed an addiction already.
You know what? A little bit. It hasn't grabbed me yet. It
Okay.
has not grabbed me yet. I mean, Pauline, she's cute. Donkey Kong, he's very expressive.
This guy.
This guy.
I don't. Listen, I get it. I'm not gonna have the most popular opinion on this. And I've played Donkey Kong games before, right? Like I got Tropical Freeze. I have HD Returns. on the Wii, not the Switch one that was re-released. I was kind of salty about that a little bit, but I will say it is a good game. It just should have been a launch title. I still have my gripes with it, but we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah. Okay. So that was your initial expectations going into it. All right, Hector, what about you? What were your expectations going into it before you actually booted the game up? What were you expecting to get out of it?
So I also knew, I mean, you could tell right away that it is the team that worked on Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a lot of similarities from what I've gathered.
yeah, and honestly, I was just hoping that it was Super Mario Odyssey adjacent, but Donkey Kong. You know, I knew that I was hoping that it would be its own thing, but it would be, it would kind of mirror Super Mario Odyssey. Now, Odyssey is like my favorite Mario game ever, and I think the best Mario game ever. And so I wanted it to be just that. So its own thing, but kind of do things similarly. And boy, does it! It's exactly what I expected, which is probably why I don't know. Maybe I have a different feeling about it than Glitchy. But I do understand why Nintendo decided to do it, to not have it a launch title. Now, myself, I agree with Glitchy. I would have preferred to have Donkey Kong Bananza be the launch title, because that's just me. Like, I love, I love to have a game that's single player, that's got a little story, because at the time, I wasn't really invested in doing a bunch of multiplayer games. Now that's changed, because now we have, the Smash group every week and stuff like that, right? So I do play with people weekly. So I think Mario Kart World
Where's
now.
my invite?
you live or like it's a different city, my guy. So
Living.
otherwise, yeah, you would be there. But I do understand why, because it's more appealing to people who haven't played Nintendo in a while, maybe even like years, right? It's just like, oh wait, new Mario Kart, oh that's sick, and which is exactly what happened, So I understand the thought process behind that, but I did prefer it to be Donkey Kong Bananza. But as far as my expectations, that is what I wanted it to be, and so far it has it's met and a little bit exceeded my expectations, because I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I know it was going to be a good game, but it is so good. I actually, it being an ADHD person's nightmare, it's my dream, but also nightmare. It's like because exploration is the key, and this game should be called Sidetracked the Game. Donkey Kong Sidetracked is what it should be called, because I'm just digging around. But anyway,
Donkey Kong Sidetracked the Game.
That's actually really good. That makes sense. Well, cool. All right. So I guess let's kind of expound a little bit more on that. We're talking about like the dichotomy of having it be from the same team that did Odyssey and things like that, and the nature of the game, right, being something similar yet different, and that for people like Hector, that's kind of what they were wanting. For people like Glitchy, that might have been not what they were looking for, what they were expecting. So let's go into the next question, which kind of involves that, was first impressions. So like, what were your immediate thoughts playing the game the first time? Did it feel like a fresh new experience, or did it feel like something ripped from another game completely? Did you find it disappointing? Thoughts on that? Glitchy, if you want to go first.
Yeah, I think we'll just keep the Glitchy to Hector thing going. Yeah. But when it comes to, I'm getting Donkey Kong 64 vibes, but like maybe what they were trying to go for originally, kind of. But I will say there's a lot of game related things. So coming from the Odyssey team, I can see it not even just from like the trailer, but like when I got into the game, like when I first noticed, there are these little challenge rooms, and they are very Mario Odyssey-esque. You go into this section, you know, Donkey Kong punches through some whatever wall, and it leads you to
a triangle on the wall.
beautiful triangle on the wall. But no, it. How do I put it? It's skewed in a way that makes it Donkey Kong, kind of. Like, for example, I remember seeing a video of this so-called, like, games journalist, right? And it's going around where he doesn't know how to do the Donkey Kong, like, slide thing. Like, you take the terrain and you slide it along the spikes. And obviously you can't do that in Odyssey. But they did similar things with, like, Cappy, where they have these, like, little playrooms with, like, you know, couple moons, couple bananas, lots of bloom, you know, there's a clear objective. The thing that interested me the most was a technical aspect. Now, I'll bring this up just because. Where the heck did I put it?
Here comes the degree. Here comes the degree.
Yeah, you knew what it was. Hold on, no. I could ever, given I went to college. Yeah, here we go. I went to college.
It's a staple. It's a staple in a Glitchy video. But this is an Intent Friends video, my guy.
I went to college. Anyway, college didn't teach me this. Just want to kind of throw that out there also. But basically, my interest in voxels. Now, for anyone at home who might not know, a voxel is essentially just a 3D pixel. To put it in like layman's terms. But this, it is all over the terrain. Everything you smash, everything you punch, you know, they're all voxels. And normally in games, when you make 3D models, you start with quads, and then once they're generated into a game, they become tris. They are like the easiest thing to calculate, the simplest polygon out there. There are a lot of games that use voxel art. I think like the most beloved one is 3D Dot Heroes for the PS3. Bit of a deep cut for anyone who hasn't seen it. But it interested me on a technical aspect, and considering the Switch 2 is still behind on hardware, which I'll get to that in my own Switch 2 review. But it's good from a technical aspect, but I'm sorry, the first level I noticed there was frame rate dips. And I mean, maybe it's just because I have an eye for it, but I like noticed it like immediately. When you talk to one of the first NPCs where you climb up on one of the poles or whatever, and he's like, oh, you gotta use this cannon to blast over to where these vines are. And when the camera turns to where that vine section is, there's frame rate drops. And not for nothing, but like, Nintendo had the time. They took the time to cook this. And it's not noticeable to the naked eye, but to the trained eye, it's kind of like, come on, guys. We did this before Link's Awakening. Just to throw that.
You had to do that. I was giving you the space to talk freely, and now you've angered the beast.
No,
or the Kong, to be exact.
I will say it is a good game on a technical aspect, and it is a game that I haven't seen voxels used in generally procedurize land in a sense where it's like, okay. Now the problem with voxels that I noticed a lot is that they don't have physics. So there's a mountain, right? You could cut a hole underneath that mountain, and this clump will still stay there. I tried that.
That's what it does in this. Yeah, the laws of physics, they don't apply. But I understand why, because everything would become crumbling down.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if there is there has to be some kind of way they can program it where it's like if you cut a hole underneath something that everything can crumble and whatever. Like there has to be a level where here's DK, here's the space above him, and there's nothing else there, right? But I feel like that might take too much out of the poor Switch 2's hardware. So this generation, I'm kind of like, I want to see what Nintendo cooks when it comes to, I guess, games that are more taxing, we'll say. I think that's the best way to say it.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Hector?
What was the question again?
First impression.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
What were your
I do.
First booting up the game, playing through it the first time? Did you find it a fresh experience? Did you think it was, just a clone, a cheap knockoff?
Right.
What did you think about it?
So I really enjoyed it. I really when I started punching stuff, from the second you start to get going, it lets you, do your thing. I was grinning ear to ear. I had a big smile on my face, and I was just having so much fun. Now, to speak to the frame dips and everything like that, I can see the frame dips. Like I think my brain just, as long as the game is fun, it doesn't really matter too much. Like, and it's not like it's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet frame dips. That's not what's happening here. Now, when it does happen, it's very seldom. And when it does happen, it's because a lot of things are happening on screen. Now, and I understand why, because, and by the way, this was started as a, when it was in development, it started as a Switch 1 game. So I think the whole thing about like, well, they had a lot of time. We don't know how much time of that was spent on the Switch 1, optimizing it for that hardware, that way older hardware. And then how much time had, I mean, I imagine it's not,
It's
a
a
lot, but yeah. And because everything is destructible as well, like the ground, the land, everything can be broken apart. I can also understand why there's going to be frame dips. And now Nintendo is also, I think this is also a really great point. Nintendo was not the only one to have frame dips and people give the game like really great reviews. Elden Ring won Game of the Year, and that game has frame dips in there. So like a lot of people are like saying, hey, like, well, just because it's Nintendo, you guys are giving it a pass because this game is getting, 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10. It's getting rave reviews. It's like, oh, when there's frame dips in Nintendo, it's overlooked because they're Nintendo. And there is a little bit of truth to that, I think, because there's Nintendo fanboys. I'm one of them. I'm the biggest Nintendo shill. Glitchy called me that last night. And so on TikTok Live, mind you. But anyway, but I understand the point, and I'm nothing if not transparent, and also honest. So I did enjoy the game. It was really fun. I do think it's I do like it when it's fun over technical marvel, and that's what we have here, which is Nintendo's stamp. It's what they're known for. They take, because they're always behind, technical wise, graphics wise. The game has to be good, and that's what I think we have here. So my first impressions are, it was really fun. It was really like it was just it overwhelmed the frame dip issues. It overwhelmed the technical issues. And so I was just grinning ear to ear. I was having a lot of fun smashing the ground and breaking stuff up. Exploration is my thing, and you're rewarded for it, for the exploration, which I really, really enjoy. So that was my first impressions.
Cool.
If I could speak adjacent to that,
Yeah.
you make a really good point. Because why does it have like that like co-op with the Switch 1? You notice that? Like it had that? Like I feel like that was interesting. And like I wonder if more games are gonna have that, Switch to Switch 2 compatibility, that like backwards compatibility of sorts. Almost acting as like the Luma in Mario Galaxy is like a like a player 2 or something. I will say Nintendo did prioritize the fun aspect, and I think people like me give Nintendo crap whenever there's like frame dips, and I've said it in my videos all the time. Nintendo is the gaming industry, like when it comes to setting standards. I've said it before. You could totally check out my channel, because
Ours
motion
too.
control.
You've said it here too.
Yeah, yours too. Yeah. I mean, I would just say like, but like motion controls, PlayStation and Xbox did it shortly after. What else? I'm trying to think. Handheld console games of sorts. You had the PSP, and if you want to go with portable stuff, then we had like the PlayStation Portable that happened now, which kind of is just like a glorified, I want to say like glorified Wii U. I don't know what to call it. So it's like, and then the Xbox Asus thing going on right now that was announced like about
the Steam thing. Yeah.
So when I give Nintendo crap, it's mainly because they are the ones who not only set the standard for the industry, but have saved the industry. They are the ones who pioneer, and if they're going to give slack on a game that has been waited for about 20-ish years, I feel like it's deserved, not because of like Nintendo themselves, but just because they have a legacy and a standard to uphold. Like, where's that official? Yeah. In every Nintendo product, there's that official Nintendo seal of approval. See, this is why you buy physicals, so you have a prop.
No. I'm going to, but I had to. I wasn't gonna go anywhere, and I really wanted to play it that night. So I was just like, yeah, just get it. Yeah, I know. I'm
gonna buy it twice.
Yes, you know me. You act like this is a surprise.
You know what? To be fair, you could give me crap for it because like I bought Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for my Zelda marathon like twice just so I could talk about it.
There are 5 copies of Battlecorn in your last video. Oh my god.
Yeah, Battleborn. You know what's funny too? I guess you're right. You know, at this point I should just buy Concord. But no, it's I think you make very good counter arguments to why that is.
Oh, I know.
And oh, easy, just cocky. But no,
humility.
I know humility is wonderful. Anyway, my sons, I think that's it's a good turning point to the next question because now I'm curious of where it's going to go from here.
Well, the next question is kind of, I mean, in one way or another, y'all kind of already voiced your input, but I kind of do want to just like hone in on this a little bit more. So given the Switch 2's hardware, given Nintendo's track record, as as Hector so eloquently put it, as kind of being behind a little bit, that's just kind of how it's been over the years, right? Given all these things and with all this in mind, do you think in your opinions, do you think that gives Nintendo an excuse to basically release these games with these frame drops and the overall maybe lackluster performance in some of their games? Or do you think Nintendo owes it to their fans to put out games that as Glitchy said are not infuriating when you see those frame dips, right? And again, there's all different there's the Nintendo fanboys that will say like, no, Nintendo can do no wrong, like we don't mind, it's about the fun. And then there's the other side of the spectrum where it's like, we don't want this anymore, we want a solid game. Like, Nintendo, take your time, right? Because we want to see you not remain within the confines of always being behind, right? And so do you think, basically what I'm asking is, do you think Nintendo has an excuse to do these things, or do you think that they have no excuses in releasing these games that are solid games but still suffer from performance issues?
I'm gonna break up the monotony here, if that's okay. I'm gonna go first.
You're going first on this one. I'm looking directly at you. You're going first on this one.
We already know what he's gonna say, but I want to hear it anyway. But while it's fresh in my mind, the big answer, there shouldn't be any excuse. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna be real. There shouldn't be an excuse. They should really tighten it up. However, I do want to point out that let's call it for what it was, right? Mario Kart World, 1080p, 60 frames per second, no frame dips, no big ones anyway. Really technically proficient. And people will still gripe and get mad that there's not enough in the game. Glitchy. That there's not enough in the game, that
Really?
you know, that there's not enough content. So I think, you know, because and I do think that I really do think that, and this is my honest opinion, that with Mario Kart World, they did try to make a really good, technically proficient performing game. And people still got upset and angry. Like, people will never be satisfied. I think Glitchy's frozen, by the way.
Am I frozen?
Oh no, man, you were just playing the mannequin game then. But he was too stunned to speak. So you know, the big answer is no. I don't think that. I do think that they can make something, which Mario Kart World is proof of that. They can make a great game. They can make a great looking game.
Great performing game.
Yeah,
too.
great performing game as well. But I do think it's very circumstantial. Like, every situation is different. But I just wanted to point that out, you know, that, you know, I think they really did focus on Mario Kart World, and people still got mad. But yeah, with Link's Awakening and like every game that has had technical issues, the fun overwhelmed it, and it wasn't really too bad. I will say, however, because we're on the topic again, there is one battle, and I don't know if you've gotten to it yet, Glitchy, but there is one battle in this game that chugs really bad. It's
if it helps you out, I am on sub 200.
Okay, yeah, you're not there yet. So it's like a big, it's not, I don't think I'm spoiling anything here, but it's like a big mud pit, and it's kind of like pulsating out of the ground, and like it sounds weird, but it's like it chugs like really bad. It is almost kind of like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet type of chugging. Not as bad, but it's adjacent. It's really close. But that is the only part. But there are a lot of moving parts, and you're texting who?
Texting you immediately when I get there.
Yeah, do that. You'll probably go live or whatever when you get there. But but yeah, man. Short answer. I said my long answer, but short answer, no, I don't think it's an excuse. I really do think they've had their time. They've had their time to get their stuff right. And I'm going to be fair, but I'm also going to, when they do make something fun, I'm also going to acknowledge their wins, and give them their flowers when I think that they deserve it. But yeah, go ahead, Glitchy.
Let me just get Mario Kart as the prop for this, because this is going to tie in directly to what you said. I'm glad it's here. So the difference between Donkey Kong Bananza is there's actually stuff in this to get. That's why there's frame drops. The reason is there's nothing in this to get frame drops. So at this point, it's an empty game that functions, or a game that's filled with stuff and doesn't sometimes. And it's like, okay, actually that's a little egregious to say. Donkey Kong does function. They did prioritize the fun. They did, but there's frame dips. And that is the difference between these two. Now, if they had put these both at launch, I don't think I would have even noticed, right? But I think it's because they're separate that I'm noticing, that, okay, this is like Breath of the Wild. Leo, you guys want some cat content?
Oh my gosh. He stared right into my soul.
I know, right?
For the audio listeners, Glitchy's cat, Leo, is in the shot, so.
He's an orange cat, so it's basically like a cat disability. It's fine.
It's all
but
good.
No, cats aside, I will say if these came out together, I wouldn't have noticed it. And it's really interesting. I guess if I had to put it into words, Nintendo just needed to cook a little more. I think that's really the biggest draw that I'm having with this. And because, I am I am someone who looks at the whole picture, right? They basically both take inspiration from Breath of the Wild. Like, instantly. This is just Mario Kart of the Wild, Donkey Kong of the Wild. I got to a rest area where it gives you a yellow heart, like Breath of the Wild, where it gives you a temporary heart.
And you float down, like Link style, falling down out of the sky. Like,
they're making memes of this. And it's like, I'm so tired of open world games. I'm so tired of them. Like,
I'm enjoying my time.
I'm so tired of them. I'm done with the 50-hour like open world. You know, like there are some exceptions, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth remake, and I don't know. I'm gonna say the next R is gonna be like Redemption, right? You know, I don't know.
That's a good guess.
I know, right? Anyway, or Revelation or something. I don't know, just some R word because they're keeping consistent with the R thing. And then they're gonna have a trilogy just called Final Fantasy VII Repacked. Anyway, I'm just tired of it. Like, they're both open world-ish games. And obviously with my Switch 2 review, you're gonna have a lot more, because I waited for Donkey Kong for that, actually. Because I was like, do I talk about it with Donkey Kong? Will it match up with my timeline of my videos coming out? And the answer was yes. And then you were like, oh, Donkey Kong's great. And then I was like, okay, if he's saying it's great, I gotta be critical about it.
Okay, so I do have a question for Glitchy, and I guess kind of going off what you said earlier about, you know, just these games Nintendo is releasing lately, where it's pretty much just blank of the wild, right? Do you think that Nintendo is pretty much just relying too heavily on this formula of open world concept type Breath of the Wild game because it worked, you know, however many years ago with Breath of the Wild? Or do you think that, you know, this isn't something that they're intentionally pushing, or is it, you know, do you think they're just trying to release cash grab after cash grab essentially because the formula worked way back when with Breath of the Wild?
That is a loaded question. That is
would you say that that's a fair assumption? Would you say that that's a fair assumption to make? You know, because so many of these open world games have come out, you know, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, you know, Kirby, even with Forgotten Land, which was kind of, well, that was kind of
Forgotten Land.
Yeah, these are all, you know, Odyssey-esque, but also too very much Breath of the Wild.
The problem is, it's like Nintendo is making every game they have, or every franchise they have, open world. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a Luigi's Mansion 4 where he gets sucked into the ghost zone and it's just like he is everywhere in, like, you know, like there's an open, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, at this point, I'm dead serious. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at that either. That sounds very feasible.
Nintendo isn't the type. They set the standard. They're not usually ones to follow. I think, I can't tell if they're reusing stuff or they're reinventing things in a way that they're comfortable with, or maybe it's just the next generation of Nintendo devs. There's so many factors into this, because this isn't our Nintendo anymore. It's not Wii, GameCube era Nintendo. Heck, it's not even Switch era Nintendo anymore. And I think that's like becoming very clear, and it's a video topic I want to cover. I think they are going for the safe option when it comes to a lot of these. I haven't played Forgotten Land, but I do remember seeing a lot of people say, well, excuse me, I'm sorry, it's not like there isn't a Switch 2 version just coming out now. So it's like, oh, did I miss a lot? No, because they keep rehashing things. And it's like, I want to say yes, but I want to say it's just the new development team trying to get used to certain things. Miyamoto isn't even credited in Mario Kart World, by the way.
Yeah, you said that already.
Like, he's not in the credits. So it's like, Mario's voice is gone, Mario's dad's gone, and Mario's mom, or Peach, is gone, if you want to call her. But like, it is not our Nintendo. And I had this conversation with Charles Martinet at Too Many Games this year, because I was like, it's just not the same. And I think it's a mix between a formula that works, developers who may or may not be trying to trying to get comfortable with development, but also learn from the previous generation. How do I put it? I want to say they're going to get better over time, right? But as of right now, it's kind of I don't even want to say a cop-out, but there's so many comparisons to Breath of the Wild. The last game that Iwata had a hand in, I think. And it's becoming all too clear where the divide is between the generation of Nintendo that I am versus what our parents are versus what, you know, maybe their parents were. And it's not that it's a bad thing. People and things change all the time. That's the world we live in, right? We had Darth Vader say skibbity about like a month or two ago in Fortnite, so that was fun. It's not our generation, so I kind of want to see what this turns into.
You don't think it's a little bit of... Sorry to cut you off. You don't think it's a little bit of maybe them trying to hold on to a little bit of Iwata? Like, and trying to find that magic, you know, like to recreate it. Like, this is the last time that we felt, you know, a certain type of way.
It's the last time I was fully blown away by a Nintendo game, which was Breath of the Wild. I didn't care much for Tears of the Kingdom in that regard. I 100% it.
No, you're right. You are correct. It wasn't because Breath of the Wild broke ground, and Tears of the Kingdom just expanded on that.
It's essentially like a Mario Galaxy to Mario Galaxy 2. Like, they had enough crap in it where they were like, oh, this isn't going to be DLC. We should just make a whole new game with the same engine. And it's not like Nintendo isn't, you know, like, not known for reusing assets or reusing code. I mean, I'm pretty sure it could be said that it's similar code for that heart thing, that temporary heart thing, is in there. It could be said that, you know, hey, it's like, you know, it's when it comes to game development, reusing assets, code, prefabs, you know, it's fine. It's just how game development works. But if you're making it more and more obvious, like, and I mean, like, not obvious in the sense where it's like, oh, it's Madden 2024 to Madden 2025. I'm talking like, you know, New Super Mario Bros. U to Super Mario Wonder. Oh, what's up there? Anyway, like, Super Mario Wonder just felt like New Super Mario Brothers to me. And people are going to be mad about that, but it's like... I
mean, yeah, for us, we don't really care, because, like, Abel and I both prefer... We think Mario Wonder is amazing, and it's great. It's fun. But Abel and I are I kind of like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and I feel like that's a hot take. I feel like that is, you know, something that's like frowned upon. People are like, it's the same as the other one. I don't care.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. It's like saying Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U is the same as the Switch port, which it's not. There was frame rate improvements. There were slight graphical enhancements. And, you know, that's what the Switch 2 carries, is that those enhancements that the Switch couldn't have. When we get to Link's Awakening, when I get to that in my Zelda review, I have to find someone to make a necklace for Link's Awakening, because that's like the theme of the Zelda videos. I have to have a necklace for it.
Etsy.
But no, I think it's okay for now, right? Because Nintendo fans are known for just eating anything, and you know what? That could just be the kind of community it is. But like, you look at things like Super Mario RPG, remade, ground up, but then you look at things like the 1,000-Year Door, where it doesn't pass the 30 frame rate mark, and I mean, like, sure, okay, not a lot of people are gonna notice it, right? I would notice it, but it's not that bad.
I also think 60 frames per second back then is much different than 60 frames per second now.
It's a math thing. It's not when it comes to frame rate, It's all math. It could just look cleaner, but when it comes to frames, it's just how many frames are there per second. So it's just numbers, really. It's I mean, you might not have known that, but it's okay. I went to college for. Oh my god, I gotta do that beforehand. If like, that's the thing.
I'm saying it's not gonna look. I'm saying it's not gonna look the same. Even though 60 frames per second back then, it doesn't look the same.
Well, that's well, yeah. If we're going on the 1,000-year door route, I mean, the 1,000-year door originally.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I said that. Not
yeah.
Anyway, but anyway. Yeah, no. I think you answered. I think you answered this question.
All right, so the next question I have for you guys, this is we're starting to wrap up a little bit on the questions that I have, but the next one is basically just replayability, right? So think a little bit long term, down the line. You've played it, you have your opinions on it. You're starting to develop, or you're starting to develop your opinions for this game. Longevity, do you think that this game has what it takes to have solid replayability? Do you think, based off of the gameplay, the mechanics, but also too just based on where Nintendo is going in the foreseeable future, do you see this game as kind of being a footnote in the Switch 2's lineage, or do you see it as being an otherwise really strong contender in, the what do you call it? The library, if you will, canon of the Switch 2. Yeah, the canon of the Switch 2.
In the same sense that like Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are.
Yeah. Is it gonna be? Are you gonna see it as one of the greats? Do you think people are gonna see it as one of the greats, or do you think it's gonna just kind of be like one of those? Oh, I remember that one. What are your thoughts on that?
My thought is it's depending on who you ask. If you ask a Donkey Kong fan, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, we waited 20 years for this game." And the same thing can be said for. Oh my God, Nintendo! I swear to God, where's Metroid Prime 4? Anyway, I think it's just depending on who you ask. Because I mean, it's a good game in the sense that, like, yeah, the Odyssey team made it, but it's like Donkey Kong isn't one of Nintendo's big five, right?
Yeah.
You go to the San Francisco store, you go to the Nintendo New York store, you got, I think it's like Splatoon, Mario, Zelda, Pikmin, I think. Like, if you look it up, there's like, what's the four? It's gonna bother me
Metroid?
now. But basically, Donkey Kong isn't there, right? And if you want to count that Ghosted 6, it's Pokemon. So, I think it will go down as a title that people will remember, but not in the same vein as Odyssey. People will be like, oh yeah, by the way, it was made for this, by the same people who made Odyssey. And I think that's more of where it lies. And unfortunately, it's going to be the same for Prime 4, but it's like, I don't think it deserves that, but I think that's what it's gonna happen because, like, long-term replayability, it's by the same Odyssey team. Like, I have 600 moons in Mario Odyssey, and I get to go back now with the Switch 2 enhancement and whatever DLC they have, right? And, like, yeah, whatever they have cooking for it, right? Because Nintendo's now just reusing things from the Switch and making them better. Because now that they've discovered updating their games, I guess. I don't know. But this, it doesn't scream it to me yet. Like I said, I only had like 7 hours with it. I mean, granted, Mario Kart World is going to be looked on as probably one of the worst Mario Karts. Like, I mean, like right next to Tour. In fact, so much so, I accidentally keep calling this Mario Kart World Tour, just because I like. I don't know if anyone caught on to that. Yeah, like by association, just because like I feel a lot of Tour in this. Like I feel it. Like it just, and like that's saying a lot considering Mario Kart 8's DLC was just basically a bunch of Tour levels and a bunch of like, Tour developers. Which is what made me think of, this isn't our Nintendo, this is like the next generation. of
Right.
Nintendo development. Because for those of you who don't know or haven't watched my channel, culturally speaking, Japan, once you have that job, you are there for life, essentially. And it is very hard to leave a job in Japan. It's not like, here in America where it's like, you flip your boss off at Burger King, you tell them to go kick rocks and piss in a cup, and, you're like, okay, cool, I can find the next job, like, the next week. Like, in Japan, it is hard.
Yeah.
Did I cut out there?
No.
You said it's hard, right?
Yeah.
That's the last thing you said? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel with you. I'm right there with you. I think Mario Kart World had a lot of bells and whistles and it was really cool, but it did fade really quickly. So I do think, even though a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is the best Mario Kart ever," I don't feel that way. I appreciated that it was different than Deluxe, just because Deluxe we had it for so long. I was just like, oh, finally something new. So, and I'm still enjoying it. But I do think later on, longevity wise, right? Like Abel, asked. I do think it might be a little bit like, oh, I remember that. Not that it would be forgotten, but it was just like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's gonna blow over unless they add a bunch of stuff to it. We'll see. But as far as Donkey Kong goes, I'm not a huge Donkey Kong fan, but I'm starting to be. Now the only game, I hope this isn't like the last question, but like the answer to the last question that you're gonna ask. But my first Donkey Kong game that I ever played was Donkey Kong Country, and I have a copy of it for the SNES, even though I don't have one. I have a console that plays it. It's like a 3-in-1, like Genesis and SNES. But
the ninjas come for you.
no, I have a copy.
No. For the console bit, it's just.
Oh, okay. Well, they get mad that I have that I don't have an SNES to play it on.
I mean, honestly, it's like Nintendo. They're gonna get mad at the fact that you didn't buy an SNES secondhand. It's just Nintendo.
Anyway,
I don't know.
I hope not.
Also, you know what's funny? We didn't even mention the Amiibo support. Is that the last question?
No.
I didn't know
I
it had an
think
Amiibo support.
we're gonna we'll get to that. I think that'll be the last thing that we talk about. Like stuff that we like and dislike from it. But and other things like that, miscellaneous. But for me, I'm not a huge Donkey Kong fan. I really do love Donkey Kong Country, but that's like the only game that I really love. Oh, Tropical Freeze is cool too. Sorry, I forgot about that. I haven't played Donkey Kong Country Returns, just because like I haven't had the time to. Like I haven't just I really want to, but like it's the Switch 2 is out. Like I don't know. So I'll probably get it later, but I think it will stand because this is turning me into a Donkey Kong fan, and I kind of want to go back. I want to go back and play, 1, 2, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. The Game Boy games are pretty good. I think I have the yellow Diggy Kong Quest, or what is it called, Abel? Abel has it actually. That's how I played it. The Game Boy.
Donkey Kong Land.
Donkey Kong Land, that one. Great game, by the way. So
Donkey Kong like Game Boy form, right?
Huh?
Isn't that just Donkey Kong and Game Boy? Isn't that just Donkey Kong Country in Game Boy form?
Essentially, Donkey Kong Land 2, Diddy's Quest.
Yeah, that one. That's the one. Great game.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it will stand the test of time. I think it'll also convert a lot of people, just like me. So or change their mind, change their outlook on it, because I'm like, man, like why didn't I like Donkey Kong as much as I did before? I also think my buddy Phil, he's also been on the channel. He's a huge Donkey Kong fan, and he actually is the one that got me into Donkey Kong in the first place. So like, it's the whole reason why I bought Tropical Freeze. It's the whole reason why I bought, Donkey Kong Country, and why I had never beaten it before. I had never beaten the game, and him and I beat it together. So yeah, I think I'm a Donkey Kong fan now. So this game will hold up. It'll be like, man, it'll be like one of the greatest Donkey Kong games ever. because I don't think there are a lot of Donkey Kong games that stand out like hugely, other than Tropical Freeze. But yeah,
I mean, that's the problem. Like, the 2D Donkey Kong games are completely different than the 3D ones. And then they had that weird era in the early 2000s on the GameCube. But, like, Retro Studios basically saved the Donkey Kong IP, right? They gave us two great games and so many beautiful, good Metroid Prime games. Anyway, gotta mention Metroid Prime wherever I can, because I've been waiting for it for, like, what, a decade now? So,
yeah, 8 years.
Anyway, I have to wait and see, because think about it this way, okay, think about people who were game journalists back then, or so-called game journalists. I don't know. IGN's really. I'm sorry, it doesn't deserve a 10. It doesn't. An 8 or a 9, sure. A 10, no. And I mean, if you look at, I said it in my video. If you look at Doom 2016's rating and Call of Duty Black Ops 3, like, they're definitely paid off. Ain't no way. But I will say, we'll have to wait and see, because Donkey Kong, what was it, 64, right? Were people back then saying it like this, like, you know, where they're like, oh yeah, this game's gonna stand the test of time because it's one of the only two Nintendo 64 games that uses the expansion pack. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, there's so much more processing power versus, like, Donkey Kong Bananza, where it's like, oh, it's the first Donkey Kong game in, like, 3D Donkey Kong game in, like, 20 years that isn't, like, you know, like a tacky
A side-scroller.
Side-scroller. I was gonna go for the barrels, like the GameCube barrels, because I have those somewhere. And, like, that's where I'm at with this, where it's like, how will this be perceived? I don't think it's gonna have the same legacy as Odyssey. I don't think it's gonna have the same legacy.
You make a good point about Donkey Kong 64, because when that game did come out, it did have a lot of good reviews, because it was, you know, technically, it was a technical marvel at the point, but now it's like super. I don't know. I don't remember back then if people thought it was empty, but like, as nowadays, it's very empty and it's very underwhelming.
Not even that. There's too many collectibles in Donkey Kong 64. People loved it back then for the same reason they're loving Bonanza. But now are we going to look back on Bonanza and say there's too much here?
That, you know, I don't think so. I think that because of the fact that it's not a technical marvel, and it has that going for it. It's just a fun game. It is very fun. You know, so it's
for people like me, it's a technical marvel. That's for sure. The voxel stuff.
Oh yeah, okay. I understand. Nobody's like you, Glitchy. Nobody went to college. People don't care. But it's like, you know, it's yeah. I don't think it'll be the same. I think it will stand out. Because most of the good Donkey Kong games are side scrollers, so it's like, you know, it's gonna be like, oh, this is, you know, until they make something else, and until, like, you know, they make a better game. I think for a long while, this is gonna be a really, you know, heralded as a really great Donkey Kong game, one of the best.
Okay, so this will just lead me into the final question for the evening, for you gents. So I kind of wanted to end on a positive note, regardless of what our opinions are on the game.
That's how we do. That's how we do it in Temperance.
Yep. I always want to end on a positive note. But that being said, the last question I have for you guys is, I would like each of you to name at least 2 aspects of the game that really pleasantly surprised you, whether it was something as simple as, oh, I really like the way they changed Donkey Kong's look, or I like the way that they added Pauline into the, you know, whatever aspect of the game pleasantly surprised you. If you could name several, 2, or however many you feel so inclined to name, aspects of the game that you found pleasantly, or just something that you really enjoyed about the game. And we'll kind of end on that positive note, right? So, yeah.
I actually have a lot of positive things to say besides the voxel stuff. Leo, did you want to chime in? No? Just go wag your tail? Okay. Anyway, I will say besides the voxel stuff and it being a tactical marvel in that aspect, especially for Nintendo standards, they haven't done anything like that. I like how expressive Donkey Kong is, and I love his dynamic with Pauline. It's giving me Tarzan vibes, but like with like a little girl, which is like more sweet and delicate in that regard, where it's like, if it's a boy, monkey gonna rough up, little boy, make big boy strong, like, like that kind of thing, versus this, where it's like, oh, me take care of little one. I kind of like that dynamic of it.
Right.
And, at first she's shy about singing, and, and then she's starting to open up, and, obviously I was completely spoiled at the end of the game. I won't spoil it here, but I can see this going in a direction that will make people feel happy, warm, and fuzzy in the end. Also, to compare it to Odyssey, that's another thing. The monkeys that you see around and you feel the effect of them to the world versus what were they called? The broods? What were they called? The bunny things in Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I think they were called the brooders, the broodals,
whatever.
The bunnies.
Yeah, the three little bunnies, and then that big fat mom bunny with the golden chain chomp. You can feel their effects in Donkey Kong Bananza's world. Like, they're everywhere, they're, foreboding, they're there. They have a presence. You can see, actually, the first cutscene I saw was like the female monkey, whatever, saying, oh, the president isn't gonna like this, or something, right? And it was that level of, wait, I didn't get that in Odyssey. Like, I would have liked to have seen something like that specifically in Odyssey. So I think the Odyssey team is learning from what people didn't like in Odyssey. Wow, I just said Odyssey a lot. But I think there is a lot of positive that is in this game. Not enough to make it more memorable than Odyssey, because, I mean, Odyssey, it's Odyssey, But to compare it to Odyssey, I think that they are learning.
Nice. Very, very nice.
I like
I know,
that stuff too. I like that stuff too.
What did you like about the game?
What was your favorite part of the game?
I like that too.
Yeah, I guess it's my turn now. So, I will say I do like that stuff too. The stuff with Pauline I thought it was awesome. I think it's so awesome. There was actually last night when Glitchy was live and he was experiencing it. There is a point where they're asking her to sing, and she's just like, she's shy, and it's like a cutscene, and it shows her like, oh, I don't want to do it, and then like it immediately cut to like her pacing, like, well, no, I don't want to, and it just keeps going.
It's like skit comedy.
Yeah, and Donkey Kong is just waiting there, like, getting tired as it goes by, and finally she comes out of her shell, she sings, and he's like, oh yeah, let's. While she's singing, no, he does that, and so I didn't. So that was something, but for me, the biggest thing, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, is the exploration. It's very rewarding. I think it's much more rewarding than Odyssey was as far as exploration goes, because I talked about this with Glitchy last night, I think, where like when you dig and you like punch a bunch of stuff, you get these like treasure chests that have like maps of the fossils of the collectibles, but also you'll get and they're just randomized. I thought that they're like, I was like, man, Nintendo did a lot of work in putting strategically putting these everywhere, but they didn't do that. It's just randomized, which I guess it makes perfect sense, but that's one of the things that I really do enjoy, is that you are hella rewarded for exploration. And then hold on.
To bounce off that real quick. It's procedurally generated. There's a random spawn chance, but it's like, I don't. If it's comparing it to Odyssey, I don't know if it's the same euphoric feeling as getting a moon, because the moment you pause to beat your banana up, it doesn't feel as satisfying than just boom, da 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 da, and then the moon. You get the moon. You know, you punch it 2-3 times, and then it's boom, oh banana, and then you'll get hit with the skill tree thing. Which, by the way, we got a skill tree in a 3D Donkey Kong game before GTA 6. I'm just gonna say that right now. That is wild. But I do see it as people will find it more rewarding than Odyssey just because they get to beat it. But Leo, what are you looking at? Never mind. Anyway.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. I had my niece was in the background. I had to talk to her real quick. So
you're a professional. Act like it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sorry. No. So like the second thing that I really enjoyed. So one was the exploration and the stuff that Glitchy liked, but then the other thing was
You're okay. You're okay.
All right. Yeah. No. I get it. So the other thing was it's really hard to explain, but I'm a musician. Abel is too. And I don't know if you heard it, Glitchy, but there's a lot of similarities in the soundtrack. Like, I don't know if the same composer worked on this as Odyssey, but like it sounds really similar. Like, there's a one track specifically that sounds like the forest, and it's like one of the lagoons or things like that. But the sound design is really great, and the punching.
They're like the same junty tunes. Because now I'm thinking about it, and it's like now I'm surprised I didn't notice that before. Mainly because there's one song in particular towards the end of the game that if I say the name of the song remix, it's going to spoil things for someone, or anyone, I guess.
By the way, I think I got it spoiled. I don't want to say anything, like don't say anything, but because it may not be it, but I think it got spoiled for me too, and I'm kind of sad.
If you say it, I won't tell you, but I want to know what you're thinking.
I'm gonna tell you afterwards because I don't want it to be true. Like I don't want it to. I just saw like, and it was an accident. Like it was on YouTube, and I was scrolling, and it was just somebody a channel that I'm not even subscribed to. It was like they were live, and how you have to click on it for it to like expand.
Oh, you have to click on it, or there's like a preview as you're scrolling. Actually, yeah. No.
Is that what happened to you?
I got spoiled beforehand because the game leaked like a whole, I think like 12-ish, maybe 18-ish hours before release. For some reason.
Yeah.
But or actually another country maybe just got it sooner. I don't know. Anyway, it got spoiled for me, but it's like I haven't. I'm like you, where it's like I've played Donkey Kong very passively. I've never I think I was halfway through DK Returns HD on the Wii, and then I lost that save data when Hurricane Sandy came through, and it flooded, and I had to play all my Wii games again. It was terrible. But props to Nintendo. They actually gave me a whole new Wii. They cleaned it up. They made it beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. But I give credit where it's due. It was just a terrible tragedy. I lost all my Pokemon cards too. Which is why my collection channel has like a small short series where I like recollect them again. But anyway, I think, especially with the amiibo support too, because like I want to mention that somewhere here. $30 for an amiibo that just gives you a costume. That's some bull crap. I'm sorry, that's some bull. To be over exaggerated here, but like the Wolf Link amiibo, that's true amiibo functionality. For those of you who don't know, the Wolf Link amiibo, if you use it in Breath of the Wild, and you have the HD version of Twilight Princess, and you like upgrade your hearts and stuff, it becomes like a companion. Amiibo aside, I will say that this game does have its like technical marvels. I like the art studio that they gave us with all the different materials and stuff. I think it just needs more time. I think IGN really jumped the gun when it came to its rating. I think a lot of people did too, because when game ratings come out, usually it's like, I don't know. It's like everyone's like, oh, the game came out, it's great, it's this and that, and it's like that's not like a game. You have to like sit down and like enjoy it, and like that's what I did with Skyward Sword, and like I realized that a lot of game journalists don't do that. That's why I'm better than IGN. Ooh, sorry, just had it. I don't know if you could just give me a like a. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah. No. I need to zoom in on every time I dab. Just to.
We'll fix it in post.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. You're writing checks that I don't want to cash.
Anyway, I think it's a good game. I don't think it's a 10, but I think it's a really good game. I would say 8.5, maybe.
And that's fair. That is fair. I think you do need to have time to. First of all, we haven't even finished it, so like we can't even say for a fact. And so like maybe something will happen where Glitchy's like, man, you know what? That was a 10. You know, like
like
it could happen. That's all I'm saying. But I do agree with Glitchy. I don't so far think it's a 10. I think it could be. I would give it so far a 9. I really do enjoy it. I think it's so fun. I think it's so different than what I'm used to. It's also something. It's also, and I don't think I've said this yet, but it's like Donkey Kong. It gets everything that I kind of like about gaming. But also the games recently in the recent years. So it's like Zelda. It's got a little bit of Mario. It's got a little bit of Kirby, Forgotten Land. It's got a little bit of God of War. Because you're just punching things left and right. Like I love it. I get like, we talked about this in our mental health episode of how like it really is a game I could escape into. And it really is a game that I could get frustration out. You know, like when I'm...
I wish I had been invited to that mental health episode, because I was debating on doing one for Men's Mental Health Month, but then like my immediate thought was, don't make this about me, you know, like you know, that kind of thing. And I was like, but if I make a video, will I be taking it away from someone else? And that was kind of the why I didn't do that. So if you have that next time, please invite me. I'd love to talk about my experience with.
Oh yeah,
we can do a part 2.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2. We also didn't know you then. So
yeah, that was a while back.
But
well,
yeah,
you should have known me sooner. No, I'm just kidding.
Time
travel and tell yourself to meet me.
I feel like if I hadn't, we wouldn't have been able to talk if we. No, I'm just kidding. We wouldn't have gotten an word in edgewise. But yeah, no. But it's kind of it's kind of like a, for lack of a better term, release for me. I get to like punch things. I get to get some frustrations out, and like I can just like, you know, like it's great. It's really, you know, I get to punch the crap out of stuff, and just do that. I get to roll, and it's the different things that in the game design that I you know, can enjoy it as a child. You know, it's got the surfing, the land surfing. It's got a little bit of Tony Hawk in there, right? So it's got a little bit of you know, just things from pulled all over the place, and I think that's what they tried to do.
Transformation.
The transformation. Yeah, we haven't even talked about the transformation because I only have 2 so far, but I'm loving the transformations more than I thought I was going to. That you can add that into the positives, because I thought, oh, that's it, like that's all it's gonna do. But I'm really enjoying it. Like, yeah, it's a little easy. It does make stuff kind of easy, but like that is a good thing too. I can like turn my brain off and just enjoy it. I
feel like the transformations replaced the friends from the Donkey Kong series. Like you used to make the friends that had the abilities. Now you are the ability.
Yeah.
I think that's like a good way to ease out of the friend aspect, you know?
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, man, I'm glad that we were able to get like a lot of these like last minute. Hey, it's a little positivity here. I like it. Yeah. Throw a dab up for that. Well, gentlemen, that's all the questions I have for you today.
You did great, man.
Thanks. Hey, y'all did great talking about it.
We actually sound like we know what we're talking about. I mean, Glitchy knows what he's talking about.
I mean, I do. I'm educated. No,
I went to college.
I went to college.
I went to college. Yeah.
I went to college. College did not teach me anything about games. I learned them myself.
Yeah.
He
Well,
went to college to learn that he shouldn't have gotten a degree in gaming.
Literally, yes. Literally, yes.
Wow.
I literally went to college, and now my life goal is to tell people, don't go to college if you're going for game development. Like, stay in your mom's basement, spend like 80 hours a week, like learning code, modeling, texturing. Do that instead. And I mean, if you want to tackle the massive amounts of debt, go to a bank and get a loan instead. Just be like, yeah, I don't want to go to college, but like I want to take on a bunch of debt. And then I don't know, just pay rent or something, or yeah, I don't know. But that's I don't want to call it a health tip, but
Glitchy's life advice.
Yeah, Pop's life advice. We're gonna go with that.
There you go.
Also get a cat.
Nintendo Friends does not reflect the views of Glitchy Games Incorporated.
That's funny. Well, guys, I mean, I guess I'll say it. That about wraps up this episode. I don't know about y'all, but
yeah, no, honestly, yeah, thank you so much. Of course, man, of course. Thank you so much to the Glitchy Games for joining us. It's always fun when our paths cross, man. You know, we love doing the podcast with you. We should do more whenever we're, whenever we do these. What is it? Whenever we do these remote podcasts.
Oh, remote podcasts.
Yeah, we should definitely have you on more. Maybe have you, part of it as more often. But yes, guys,
you do them like every week, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to. As you saw on our channel, if you saw the post, but we've kind of been dealing with some things. We had a death in the family, but we're getting back into it. We're feeling great and better. Got a little piece about it too. So, but yeah, guys, I'm really glad that we get to come together. It is a privilege and it is an honor that we get to have these times together, right? So, but guys, there is, you can get 10% off a W. We still do that. We still have a sponsor that we got to get to. So, it's 10% off a W when you do our code, which is NIN10. That's NIN, the number 10. 10% off of your entire order. Guys, school's coming up. If you do the night shift at your job, get you energized, get you some W, and it's great. They got new flavors. It's delicious. Also, we got merch in the link in the description. Really great merch. We got the new kind of logo shirt as well. I don't know if I mentioned that before yet, but we have a new shirt out as well. We also got a new summer shirt that Abel's been wearing. Or he wants to wear. I don't know if he's gotten it yet. By the pool.
Rocking this merch.
Oh, nice. I have a Zelda shirt on. I got my Nintendo Friends underwear on. I wish I could show it, but I can't. No, we don't have that.
I have my generic episode black shirt.
Yeah. There you go. But yeah, guys.
Nintendo Friends brand contact lenses.
Jeez, man, we're gonna be rich.
Got my Nintendo Friends branded deodorant, and toenail clippers.
Makes you smell just like Donkey Kong.
You could say,
and our new product, new product coming up that's inspired by Leo, Nintendo Friends Kitty Litter.
Yeah.
Expect that in the mail by like Friday.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode because I know Abel usually does it, but I'm gonna do it. So,
go for it.
Give them the dab, like and subscribe. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.